Everybody, so the Lego Batman movie is a film directed by Chris McKay and stars Will Arnett as the lead role of Lego Batman. So I went out to see this movie yesterday, and I think it is overall a pretty good film. There are a couple of things, however, that did not work for this film. So I'm just going to start this review by just talking about the comparison to the Lego movie, because I know a lot of you will be thinking about, is this film as good as the Lego movie? And my answer personally is that no, this film is not as good as the Lego movie. One of the things that was so good about the Lego movie was that how, despite its extremely fast-paced density, it was still able to manage these great, like, packed up jokes, packed up action sequences that the Lego Batman movie was just unable to deliver, personally for me. However, moving from that, I will say that still Lego Batman is a good movie, and for that reason, I'm just gonna start listing out some things that I did like about the Lego Batman movie. One of the things that I loved was the animation, and I'm personally a huge fan of stop motion animation, and I think that the Lego series with Warner Brothers, their team up, has done a great job of providing animation that is so detailed, so well detailed, that your eye is examining every aspect of every single frame because it's so well done. It's very well detailed, just like everything is very smooth despite stop motion often being very blocky. Sometimes it can fall into that blocky category. Thankfully enough, Lego Batman does not fall into that blocky-ish movie category and actually flows very smoothly. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Another thing that really surprised me about Lego Batman movie is that it had some very engaging, in fact, exciting action sequences. There were a lot of action sequences that I could see being done in a future Batman movie, standalone, live action Batman movie, just in Lego form, and of course in a comedic way. But I think there were a lot of action sequences that really worked for this film, and I like that. And that was something I really appreciated. And there were not one, not two, but several action sequences that were exciting, engaging, and really well done. Next comes the voices. I think the voices were great here. Of course, Lego Batman by Will Arnett, great matchup. Zach, I can't even pronounce his last name, but the man who plays the Joker, the actor who played the Joker, Zach G. Great actor. I think he did a pretty good job as a Joker. I think that it's not right to compare his Joker to previous Jokers, even Jared Leto's Joker, because those are different kinds of Jokers. And he just did the normal bad guy impression. Nothing really Jokery was integrated about him, if you know what I mean. But still, I think I enjoyed his voice acting. Michael Cera as Robin was pretty good. So for these reasons, I did enjoy the voice acting, and I thought it was well matched. However, to counteract all this good about the Lego Batman, there were several issues. And one of the issues is that this film is a little bit too short, a little too dense. So one of the things that worked for Lego movie for me was that it was short, but it was very action-packed, and the jokes were every time they hit. Almost every time the Lego movie's jokes hit. The Lego Batman movie couldn't squeeze much out because of how fast it was. It was to hold on tight and just go with what's happening. And the moment you think something's about to just be over, it just moves on to the next space, and it felt a little too frenetic, from my personal opinion. Lego Movie, I thought, was fast, but just risking that line between too fast and too slow, where it worked perfectly. But Lego Batman Movie just went a little bit above that line, a little too frenetic for my personal tastes. But it still had some of that dry, witty humor. Unfortunately, sometimes that dry, witty humor was not funny. A lot of times they just tried to connect to the outside world to make the film seem more self-aware, but that didn't really work sometimes. It didn't really feel funny. It felt a little bit forced. There are a couple jokes. I don't want to really spoil those jokes, but there are some references to pop culture that weren't funny. I just didn't think they were funny, and the sad thing about that is that it'll go over kids' heads and adults won't appreciate those jokes that miss. But there are still several jokes that do hit, and they hit great. There's some really hard-hitting jokes in there where you're hitting exactly the people who made the movie and hitting Batman's past and so on and so forth. But overall, I think it's an enjoyable film. Do not see the trailer beforehand. If you have not seen the trailer yet, do not see it because it ruins a lot of the jokes of the movie. but I think this movie could have been a little bit more mature. Already though, I think it's risky that they even went for this level of dry, witty humor, which would go over kids' heads, but it just was not like the Lego movie where, it was appealing to both sides, on both sides of the spectrum so well. But Lego Batman movie is definitely a fun time at the theater. Great voice acting, engaging, exciting action sequences, excellent animation. Just could be a little bit less fast. Everything just flies past you sometimes. Overall, pretty good movie. For the people who are saying that this is the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight, I personally like to disagree. I will say that this film is better than Batman vs. Superman as a film, even though it's hard to compare the two. As a film, yes, it is better, but it is not as good as The Dark Knight Rises, even as a film. But for this reason, I'd like to give Lego Batman. Well, I was deciding between 3.5 and 4 stars, but I'm deciding to give it 4 out of 5 stars because even though it's frenetic, a lot of the jokes do hit, and story is well packed, and the characters aren't underdeveloped. They do a good job of developing the characters. Overall, fun time at theaters. Go see Lego Batman, and I have more reviews coming up, so please stay tuned. Thank you.